Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision as we catch up with our coaches this week. And it's been a crazy spring for our spring sports, especially our baseball team, and really getting off to a good conference start this past weekend. Their head coach, Pat Evers, joins us. And, Pat, great way to start the conference season, getting 2 out of 3 off of UIndy this past weekend. Talk a little bit about how everything's gone up to this point this year.
Honestly, it's been a slow start through the first portion of the schedule. I mean, really, it's kind of some tough games that had opportunities to win that we kind of got in our own way a little bit, and obviously went into the conference weekend without a great record. But it was nice being able to have 3 real good games with Indy, and obviously fortunate to come away with the series win. So happy to get off on that start, and then obviously picking up the non-conference win against Lewis on Tuesday. So hopefully get on a roll a little bit, and everything's starting to kind of come together and starting to play a little bit better and a little bit more consistent.
It seems like the pitching staff's starting to settle in a little bit too. I know early in the year it was tough. Just Mother Nature this year is just not giving us any favors. But, getting outside and actually throwing on the mound compared to inside, and it seemed like the pitching staff kind of struggled a little bit, but really it seems over the last maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, they're starting to settle in a little bit, being used to being outside and throwing off the mound.
Yeah. I think some of the, we had a couple anomaly weekends with Southwest Baptist and Hillsdale here where he played in some really windy conditions, not very favorable on the pitching side of it. So some of those numbers are a little bit probably more inflated than I think what they typically would be. Not to say we pitched it real well in any of those times, but I think as you go along with it and you get through your first 15 games, you can start figuring out some roles and situations and best way to use some guys. And honestly, just like anything else, hey guys, need to get a couple times out there and build up the innings, and they start getting a feel, and you start feeling a little bit more like yourself and start getting a little bit more consistent. So the one thing over the last couple weekends, starting pitching wise, has been a little bit more consistent. We've been able to get deeper in games and get to use guys in roles that are a little bit more beneficial for them. So if you got somebody that's out in the second inning, it's kind of all hands on deck, and not only does it impact that first game, it also impacts every game thereafter. So getting off to good starts, Lewis Nienberg, Cody Creed, Cody Siebenberger have all thrown real well, and we're starting to kind of identify some roles for some guys out of the bullpen.
Well, and that's the big key too, especially with the conference going to the 3-game series, all 9-inning games. Starting pitching is going to be key, not only for us, but for everybody across the board this season, because you need to get 5, 6, 7 innings out of your starters to save the bullpens a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had it, pretty good against Winona State, and I think part of the thing that was nice to play the non-conference game with Lewis in the midweek, just so you can get some of those guys that haven't been able to get extended out or haven't been on the mound in a couple weeks because that starting pitching was getting a little bit better and they're going deeper in games. So we're going to need all those guys once we get into this and play some of those doubleheader midweeks. So I'm looking forward to the midweek games just so we have the opportunity to continue to keep guys fresh and you get a little bit more consistency and level of play instead of having a weekend then you have 5 days off before you're playing again. To get in that repetition where you're playing baseball, every couple days, it helps. I think it helps getting everybody a little bit more consistent.
Middle part of our order, it seems, is really kind of find its stride a little bit as well with, Cove and Klotz and Niemerg and those guys. They're really starting to see the ball pretty well.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing on the hitting side of it. Once you start getting, 30, 40, 50 at-bats and you start feeling a little bit more consistent, you got those things that you iron out that you might have struggled with early on, and guys get more at-bats, guys get better. And I think there was a couple things. I know Covert and Cam Mercier were a little bit banged up with some minor things early, so it was nice to kind of get those things going. I don't think offensively we've played our best baseball yet, but you look at a lot of guys that have had track records that have been better and they're seniors, and they really haven't. It's going to continue to get better as it goes on, and they'll play into what we've done in the past and probably a little bit better. But I think as a whole, I don't think we've played our best offensive baseball yet.
All right, so we go back into conference play this weekend. William Jewell coming in. I know you guys have had a chance to look at them a little bit. What are some of the things that we're going to see from them in the 3-game set up at Lindenwood?
I think they've pitched it pretty well so far. For me, going into this kind of blind a little bit, not seeing the conference, it's kind of exciting just to get an idea of a style of play and what you're going to see. And you can always, you get scouting reports and you can find out a little bit, but sometimes until you're really out there and you're playing the game, it's kind of hard to know exactly. So, we're excited another conference weekend and ready to go and hopefully have a good weekend.
No doubt about it, buddy. We'll see you up at St. Charles this weekend.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Pat Evers joins us once again. Baseball team takes on William Jewell Saturday, Sunday, doubleheader on Saturday starting at noon, single game Sunday at noon. Once again, the games this weekend will be played up at Lindenwood University at their baseball field at the Lou Brox Complex, not here on campus. So make sure when you're coming around, make sure you head up to Lindenwood and not here to Weber Field. We'll have all the updates for you on our website, also on our Twitter feed at Maryville Saints. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.